Hey everyone, it's Derek with Nightwater Project, nightwaterproject.com. I just wanted to do a quick review of Michael W. Smith's new album, Surrounded. This just came out. The other week he released A Million Lights, which is his newest pop album, and he also decided to release, a week later, a new worship album, and this album's a live album. So without further ado, I just wanted to go through the album list and tell you a little bit about it, what I liked, what I didn't like, and so forth. So, first up on the album is a song titled Your House. I gave this a 7 out of 8 stars. I thought it was pretty good. A nice track to open this album. A lot of energy. It's not repetitive, so I thought it was a great start to a live worship album. The second song is titled Light to You, and this was actually my favorite song out of the entire album. I gave it a 9 out of 10 stars. It's a very nice and sweet slow ballad throughout. I really enjoyed the guitar part and the effects that they used on the guitars throughout this song. I thought it was a really neat, I don't know what specific pedal they used or effects, but I thought it really made the sound really cool. Just definitely my favorite song on this new album, Surrounded. Track number 3, King of My Heart. I gave this song a 6 out of 10. It is repetitive, but it's not overly repetitive. It's not overdone. I enjoyed the lyrics of the tune. A lot of worship songs in general, I really like the lyrics of. They're very powerful, but out of all the songs on this album, I think this was up there, close to the top as far as the lyrics. Not specifically the music, but the lyrics. Track number 4, Reckless Love. I gave this a 6 out of 10 stars. Again, I enjoy the lyrics, as they have a great meaning. I really can't comment too much on the tune because I just wasn't too much of a fan of it. Track number 5, Here I Bow. I gave this 5 out of 10 stars. Was not a huge fan of this song. I felt like, I don't know, something was missing from it. I don't know what, but I just thought it could have been better. It's another ballad on the album, so if you like songs that are like ballads, you'll probably enjoy it. Track number 6, Miracles. I gave this a 3 out of 10. I was not a fan of this song. It's very repetitive. It is well over 8 minutes long. It just seems like it goes on and on and on and on and on. I understand why, because it's a worship song, and a lot of worship songs they kind of go improv and just keep repeating the same things over and over again. But this was one of the ones that did that the most. I'll put it that way. Track number 7, Do It Again. 4 out of 10 stars. I would say don't do it again. I did enjoy the acoustic approach to the song. I do like how it starts off slow and grows throughout the song. It's just not one of my favorites. It's not memorable, in my opinion. There are a handful of other memorable songs on this album. Track number 8, Surrounded. Fight My Battles. This was the first single, I think, off of this album that they released. I gave it a 5 out of 10. When they announced this album, I was really excited for it, especially right after they announced A Million Lights, the pop album. I thought there's energy in this song, but it's way too repetitive for my liking. If there was like a verse, which led into the chorus and stuff, I likely would have enjoyed it more. But I'm just not a big fan of 8-minute songs that they repeat the same, 4 lines of a song over and over and over again. I just feel like the creativity is just not there when an artist does that. Track number 9, Build My Life. I gave this a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed the lyrics again. And I also enjoyed all the voices singing in this song, like the choir. Sounds like a choir is singing in the background, which I thought was really neat. And it reminds me of a worship service. A lot of, larger churches have like a band or something like that these days, and it just reminded me of being in a worship service. So I thought that was kind of cool. Track number 10, Washed Away. I gave this a 7 out of 10 stars. I like how Nothing But the Blood of Jesus is mixed into this song, so I thought that was really unique. I would say that was one of the Easter eggs in here, in this album. That hymn is very well known, so I think a lot of people will enjoy this tune a lot. It's also very powerful and has a very powerful pause close to the middle of this tune, which there's like dead silence, and I thought that was really unique and pretty incredible. So I really enjoyed that one. Track number 11, Great Are You, Lord. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and wow, talk about that tenor's voice, that tenor that's singing in this tune. You'll hear it throughout. He has a great voice. It's another sung by a lot of church choirs and church members, so I think that will be another great tune on it. Those two especially, Washed Away and Great Are You, Lord, those two will, I think, be enjoyed by the younger generation and the older generation, because it's something that a lot of people, churchgoers, know. Wherein like a lot of these other tunes are, a lot newer, and the older generation might not know them. Track number 12 is Light to You. It's a reprise of the second track in the song, and I gave that a 5 out of 10. There's nothing really too special about it, but it's a nice way to close a live album. Like Louis Smith does that a lot. He'll like reprise something that he did before at the end of a show, like after he says like a prayer and good night and all that stuff, thanks for coming, and then he'll walk off the stage and the band will pretty much just close with a instrumental version of one of the tunes that they played earlier in the evening. So, like I said, that's track number 12, and I gave that a 5 out of 10. So overall, I really liked this album, but I did not like it as much as his Worship and Worship Again albums. If you really like, put it this way, if you really like worship albums in general, I don't see why you wouldn't like this album. Coming from a producer's perspective, I honestly think that this album, it just sounded very edited. It sounded way too perfect for a live album. And maybe they went back and overdubbed certain things. I don't know, but it seems like it was overproduced, for my opinions, and it sounded way too studio-ish to be a live album. But that's just my opinion. But it was still enjoyable. Many of the songs are newer, like I said earlier, are newer worship songs, and you would likely hear them performed like by a church band. This album, if you are looking for new songs by Michael W. Smith, this is not the album for you. A Million Lights was all brand new albums. that Michael W. Smith wrote or co-wrote. This album is a cover album. There are a lot of tunes on here that were written by many other artists and musicians, which is fine, but that's just what this album is. So if you're looking for a original album, I would point you in the direction of the other album that was released a week before this one, which is A Million Lights. It's also a very pop album, so if that's not your thing, you might not enjoy it, but if it is your kind of music, you would love it. Like I said, with this album Surrounded, if you like worship music, you'll enjoy it. If you enjoy more of Michael's pop roots, you might not. So overall, I gave the album a 6 out of 10, a little bit lower than his album A Million Lights that came out the other day. The standout tracks, in my opinion, are the tracks Light to You. That is definitely my favorite out of the whole album. Probably because it has a nice verse and choruses throughout. It's not just choruses repeated throughout the entire album, and it's also not 8 or 9 minutes long. Your House, which was the first track, and Washed Away, which has the hymn, Nothing But the Blood of Jesus, later in the track, which I thought that was really neat. So just as a conclusion, I still enjoy his Worship and Worship Again albums. Those are my two favorite worship albums of his. Personally, I enjoy less repetitiveness, which is one of the reasons why I didn't like this album as much as the other two. And it was, in my opinion, too overproduced. It sounded more like a studio album than an actual live album. So, in a nutshell, I give it a 6 out of 10. If you, let me know your thoughts after you listen to it. It's available pretty much on Amazon, CD Baby. I think it's even on Spotify and Apple Music if you rather stream it rather than purchase it or download it. My name's Derek. I'm with Nightwater Project, nightwaterproject.com, and I have original music out there, and I also cover some mainstream cover songs, as well as a couple Michael W. Smith songs. So my stuff's on those sites too: Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, CD Baby, and so forth. So if you have a chance and want to check out some new and original music that's not mainstream, that's more indie and stuff, check out I have the website below on here, nightwaterproject.com. Thanks for listening to this review, and I hope you enjoy his newest album, Surrounded.